New widely shared Harvard study promoting plant-based diets omits one extremely important detail. I've learned over the years, I'm sure many of you have as well, that a good chunk of these quote-unquote scientific studies are simply propaganda.
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
They're commissioned by organizations. Those organizations have agendas. The agenda is inserted into the study. They release the study, and then it's used to validate the original agenda. Rinse and repeat. This is far more prevalent than I think most people realize. And that's why this particular study, when it came out, it's been picked up across the board. I mean, pretty much every health magazine, every aging and elderly living magazine, they're all just talking about this, especially the vegans and the vegetarian promoting ones, because it's like, oh my gosh, Harvard says eat plants. Except if you actually read the study, which I did, you'll realize that it's not exactly an accurate assessment. This comes to us from Eureka Alert, the scientific organization. This, again, is a Harvard study. It comes from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. It is allegedly peer-reviewed. It's got all the stamps of approval on it. Let me read for you just the first key point, and then we'll get into the omission. Maintaining a healthy diet rich in plant-based foods with low to moderate intake of healthy animal-based foods and lower intake of ultra-processed foods, which, by the way, I agree with that aspect. Forget about the ultra-processed foods. Stop eating them altogether. Was linked to a higher likelihood of healthy aging, defined as reaching age 70, free of major chronic diseases, with cognitive, physical, and mental health maintained, according to a 30-year study of food habits among more than 105,000 middle-aged adults. It's a massive study. They studied 8 dietary patterns, and these dietary patterns have names. And these names of these dietary patterns, some of them you'll recognize, others, it's like, wow, that's a dietary pattern. I had no idea. For example, they studied Alternative Health Eating Index, the Alternative Mediterranean Index, dietary approaches to stop hypertension. That's a name. And if you're wondering why would they name it something weird like dietary approaches to stop hypertension, that's because the acronym is DASH. Well, a lot of times the scientific community works just like our government, and they like to try to come up with nifty acronyms so that it's easier to promote their agenda. Mediterranean Dash Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. Let's see, where's another good one? Empirical Data Index for Hyperinsulinemia, whatever that is. Okay, so great. So they've got these 8 studies, and according to their research, they've been able to determine which ones are better for which people. And they've determined definitively, beyond any doubt, that this plant-based diet and this plant-based diet and this plant-based diet are superior to the other diets. And that's the message. That's what's getting pushed out there by all these various health magazines and all this stuff. But the detail that was omitted is the fact that all 8 of the diets they studied are plant-based diets. In other words, there was a 0% chance, literally impossible, for a non-plant-based diet to have been declared the winner of this huge Harvard peer-reviewed study. The end goal of declaring that a plant-based diet was the healthiest was rigged. It was guaranteed. There was no chance. No matter who won, plant-based diets won. And that's the messaging that's being promoted out there. Don't eat meat. Don't eat meat. I mean, you can't make this up. Well, apparently you can. Somebody did. Somebody came up with a brilliant way to try to con people into thinking that if you don't eat meat, that somehow that's healthier.